Huron gestured toward the cabin. Come inside. No good standing out here crying in the sun. She followed him hesitantly, the uneven planks creaking under her boots as she entered the dim interior smelling of pine sap, smoke, and leather. Everything was tidy, functional, sparsely furnished and yet somehow warmer than she expected, though her trembling made it hard to notice anything but her own fear. Elias stopped near the small table, bracing his weight with his arms as he shifted to face her. Your mother told me you needed somewhere safe, he said, and even though his voice stayed even, there was an undercurrent of something, concern or bitterness. Clara couldn't tell. That true? Clara nodded, cheeks flaming with shame. Elias narrowed his eyes slightly. How old are you? 17, she whispered. Something in his expression darkened. Not anger, more like realization. He rubbed the back of his neck slowly. I ain't gonna hurt you, girl. And I ain't gonna turn you into something you're not. The words hit Clara like a storm breaking across dry land, because for the first time in months she felt a flicker of safety, a flicker of relief. But she didn't have time to savor it because suddenly the front door slammed open and 3 dust-covered riders appeared outside, their horses pawing at the ground as the largest man called out, Ward, we heard you took the girl. We're here to negotiate her stay or take her if you won't sell her proper. Clara's blood turned to ice. These were the men who had threatened her mother, men who smelled weakness like wolves scenting fresh blood. Elias didn't hesitate. He wheeled forward, placing himself between Clara and the door, his voice turning sharp as a blade. She ain't for sale. Get off my land, the men laughed cruelly. You can't even walk, Ward. You gonna stop us from taking what's owed? Clara pressed a hand to her mouth, heart slamming against her ribs as Elias reached for the shotgun, propped beside his chair, not pointing it, not threatening, just resting a firm hand on it in silent warning. Last chance, Elias said, calm but deadly, and something in his tone must have reached the men because after a tense moment they spat in the dirt, cursed under their breath, and finally turned their horses, riding off with promises that they'd be back. When the cripple can't protect her, Elias shut the door, breathing hard, jaw tight as stone as he turned to Clara, and she braced for anger, for accusations, for regret that she'd brought danger to his doorstep. But instead he simply said, voice quiet but firm, You ain't gonna be taken by anyone. Not while you're here. She stared at him, tears filling her eyes again, but this time they weren't from fear. They were from the shock of hearing someone stand up for her, someone she'd known barely an hour. Elias sighed, rubbing his temples as if overwhelmed. You can stay, he murmured. But it'll be work, hard work. I can't do everything from this chair and I ain't